guys, Dr. Decks here. Today I thought I would give you an update on our new Ditch Witch SK800. We've been using it for about 10 months now, and I have a lot of thoughts and features on it that I want to share with you and how it's been working out for us. So if you like this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. All right, so straight up, something I wasn't used to having on my old machine was a set of forks. Right? So you wouldn't think, oh, big deal, Doc. I mean, how much can a Ditch Witch, or how much can a small mini skid steer really lift? Well, we did a couple upgrades to our machine. The first thing we did was, when we had the opportunity, we ordered a weight kit. The SK800 actually does not come with an additional weight kit or the option for it, but the SK1050 does. And because of the power of social media, somebody actually told me, Doctor, you can take the weight kit off a SK1050 and adapt it into an SK800. I'm like, well, that's worth the risk, right? Till I ordered the plate. The plate was over $1,000. So that weight kit cost me over $1,000 to add to this machine, but it gave it the extra capacity so I could pick up another 400 pounds. If you did the math, it actually might be more than that, but I'm not sure. All I know is that I'm able to pick up a full pallet of slat tracks and some other things that I couldn't pick up before. I'd have to split the load, which made it really versatile for me. The machine doesn't lift up quite enough to get materials onto my flatbed truck, but I can actually lift and move materials onto any flatbed trailer that I have, which makes it really nice when you have extra supplies on site and the machine's on site. You can actually use it for material logistics, which I have found to be a big bonus when we're on a job site. Instead of having to hand load things, you just use the machine. So the weight kit, number one, was a huge benefit for us. But probably the most important thing that we did is that we ordered a helical pile driver from Mascor Helical Piles out of Ontario, Canada. And Max, the owner of the company, set me up with the driver and all the helical piles and certification and training so that I could run my own helical piles on any project we want. So there's two different sizes, and this machine will take the weight, it'll take the torque, and it's a high torque, low speed driver that drives our piles into the ground. And we're using those on 90% of our deck installs right now, and that has been a blessing. We can actually drive piles and get to work. We don't have to wait for concrete to cure. We don't have to pour concrete. And we were pouring yards of concrete because in Washington State, our live load capacity for decks increased to 60 pounds per square foot, which dramatically increased the size of the footings we had to dig. And when you're trying to dig through concrete, that means you're cutting a huge hole in the concrete and trying to dig down. I didn't want to do that anymore, so we had to come up with a solution. So helical piles was the answer, but the little machine I used to have wouldn't drive the piles correctly. So we had to get a bigger machine anyways. So the SK800 with the weight kit seemed to be the answer for me. In retrospect, if I would have had the money and I would have had the option, at the time I did not, I possibly would have bought a bigger version of this, but I really like this brand. The only problem we've had with it so far is that we blew some hydraulic lines when we were driving piles. But I have a local dealer for the Ditch Witch, and so I just sent it in for service, and while I was at it, I had all the service done on the machine. It only has 750 hours, so they did the 750-hour service, repaired the hydraulic lines in a couple of days, and I was able to get my machine back and running. The controls were a little hard to master. Once I got used to them, now it's second nature. So if you buy a new machine and you're not used to the hand controls, it can be a little jumpy until you learn how to run the machine fluid. But you can actually do multiple commands at the same time. You can be moving forward and raising the bucket and tilting and dumping and doing all that stuff that you do on other skid steers. It's just the way that they have their control set up, which I don't mind. You know, you can actually control all forward motion with one hand, and you control the bucket with your other hand. So I found that to be a really cool feature. And then you run your auxiliary hydraulics in a separate lever, which then you would just switch from using the bucket over, or the arm and the boom and the raising up and down, to the hydraulic line that runs like your helical driver or something like that. There's also a foot switch that you stand on to run the auxiliary hydraulics. So with all that in mind, let's go outside and take a look at the pile driver that we use in conjunction with this mini skid steer. All right, so out here is where I just store all some of my equipment, my attachments and things like that outdoors. So I just have my helical pile driver hooked up to a boom right here that I use for driving the piles. So this part of the boom hooks up to the machine, and then the driver sits on top of that, and then we hook up our helical piles, which are right over here, to that machine, and then we drive them down. If we don't reach torque within 6 feet, then we add an extension, which are right here. We'll add an extension and go down as far as we need to either deliver torque, or we'll keep going. I haven't had to go deeper than 12 feet in my region, but I've heard of guys going 30 and 40 feet deep if there's nothing to grab onto in the earth. So, but we're looking for like 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. So, and again, like I said, now with that weight kit on my machine, I can pick up this entire pallet of slat tracks and be able to get it off my truck or trailer without tipping. Before, without that weight kit, I was tipping. I wouldn't be able to pick the whole thing up. So the machine can only lift a certain amount of weight, but to max it out, I had to put that weight kit on so I wasn't tipping forwards. All right, guys, so really very impressed with the machine. I'm really happy. I wish I had a little bit more weight lifting capacity, but that's okay. It works really great for us. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Don't forget to like our videos and leave us a comment below if you have any questions. I'll try to get back at you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.